Hello, my name is John Pertwee, and I am the doctor.
Absolutely. Let's hear it for John Pertwee, all right? We are outside this large vehicle here with this small vehicle. Bessie, many of you will recognize Bessie, of course, along with John Pertwee here. John, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, George.
Tell us why you are here.
Because I'm being paid.
Absolutely. And who pays you?
You do.
And where do we get the money that pays you?
They give it to you.
Absolutely. And that's the whole purpose of what's going on here. We're at Mercer University with John Pertwee, with John Nathan Turner. We have Sylvester McCoy, the new doctor. And we have several other surprises out here for you. John Pertwee is waiting to go back inside and sign more autographs.
Yes.
But before he goes back in, let him tell you a little about what he does while he's here.
Well, I'm on tour with a Doctor Who promotional tour that is run by BBC Enterprises, coupled with the name of Lionheart Television under the royal auspices of the gentleman over there on my right, who won't allow himself to be brought before the camera, Mr. Ray Craft. And we are traveling through 76 cities in the United States with this magnificent exhibition with Daleks and all kinds of other monsters and lovelies that you will see, and various doctors and people that will be visiting your cities. I hope to be back. I shall be going back to England in about 3 weeks, but I'm coming back.
Number one, it's not George Warren. Hi guys, Eric Luskin. I'm here with a legend. It's a real treat. An irate legend, because the folks in the studio are wearing Tom Baker scarves, and my friend John Pertwee doesn't like it one bit. Welcome to Atlanta, John.
Well, I know that they can't afford to wear my beautiful gear, can they?
No, and I can't either. In fact, you wouldn't let me wear it. Look, we're here for a very important cause, and that is support for Georgia Public Television. Now, in England, there is not the same kind of system that there is here. And John, I'm sure that you're aware of the importance of membership and would want people and all of your fans and the Doctor Who fans to help Georgia Public Television out. Is that not so?
Absolutely so, yes, certainly. If they want to see good programs like Doctor Who, the hand has to go straight into the pocket.
Or to the phone.
Empty it.
To the phone.
To the phone?
I bet everyone can dial.
Throw it down the phone.
Let's dial the... Yeah. The numbers are real easy to dial. You can see them on your screen.
You can see them on the screen. I can see them.
Absolutely. I can see them. You can see them. The important thing is to go to your telephone. It's very easy to sit back and say, hey, isn't this nice? They're at Mercer University. Isn't this nice? They're showing us Doctor Who. Isn't this nice? They're introducing Sylvester McCoy, the brand new doctor, which is going to be happening later on. But look, take it from a doctor who knows. Membership support is the key to Doctor Who. Please go to your telephone right now. If you're in the Mercer University area, come on down, join the fun. Mr. Pertwee is here, signing autographs, greeting the folks. Producer John Nathan Turner is here. Sylvester McCoy is here. There are Daleks here. There's the Doctor Who exhibit here. It's all here because of
And I'm here.
you. He is, of course, here. Of course. He's always here in one form or another. Go to your telephone right now.
I was going to be here.
Hey, we're supposed to be talking. Why don't you say what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. You've never given me a chance to keep rabbiting away that under that beer.
There you go. It's your big shot. It's your big shot. It's a
what
treat.
He said is absolutely right, and I'm heartily with you.
It is a treat working with a legend, because they certainly know how to put you in your place.
Sitting here is K9, which is in the trailer behind us.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about K9.
Well, when I took over as producer of the show, we had been having tremendous difficulties with it. It was a radio-controlled device that initially used to interfere with the cameras, and then when they got that right, it seemed to not be able to run over anything. I can remember that Tom Baker used to say that it couldn't even cross a piece of sellotape. So we decided that for the first new season, or for the first season that I was producing, we'd spend a lot of money on it and have its innards completely remodeled and fit the whole thing with tank tracks so that it could move over a really bumpy surface. And we spent about £4,000 fitting out the metal mutt, as it was called, and took it down to a pebbly beach for the first sequence we required it for. And sadly, it just spun on the rocks and went round and ended up being pulled along by a piece of fishing wire.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
Absolutely.
Important event happening here tonight. The gentleman that has again consented to speak with me, even though I don't let him say anything, is here, Mr. John Pertwee. We are here so that you will call Georgia Public Television, so that you will become a member of Georgia Public Television. While I wake this gentleman up, John,
Yeah,
I understand when you wake up, the first thing you do is ask people for money. Is that true?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Go to it.
I want all your money, every penny that you got. Throw it down the telephone at once. Yes, of course, we want all your money. Yeah.
public television can only survive with your help. That's what makes public television public television. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called, right, public television. You've got to help support programming that you enjoy. You have to help Georgia Public Television in order to keep programs like Doctor Who on the air. Doctor.
And to keep me in work.
And to keep him in work. Indeed. What have you enjoyed most about your trip to the States? Let me ask you that, as the phones continue to ring loudly in my ear.
Touring. I adore touring around the United States. My wife and I get in the car. We never go on an interstate. We go everywhere, all the country lanes, and we have a great time. I love
wonderful.
it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And do you hear telephones ring as you go around the country?
Oh, yes, permanently.
But not as many as there are ringing right.
People left the set 35 minutes ago. Now, we've almost taken up a pool on whether they would be back. This portion of the program you're about to see is for national distribution. We have a BBC producer. We have the new doctor. We have Eric Luskin. We have John Pertwee. Do not take a tight shot of John Pertwee or Brian Sloman. Sitting on the set, waiting to be taped, to be distributed to all PBS stations tomorrow morning for their use in their pledge breaks. I am glad to see they are so dedicated, so sincere, so strongly involved. Anyhow.
They'll be here.
Well, hello, America.
Hello.
It is a pleasure to be here with my guests tonight. Okay, what we are going to do right now is to introduce you to a man who you will be absolutely enchanted with in the future. The man who is pointing his finger in my face right now is none other than Dr. Number 7, Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester, welcome to America.
Thank you. Hey! Thank you very much.
And I can say no one is probably more delighted to see you in America than I.
No, it's probably television. We can't do that.
Inside joke, folks. With you on your right is the producer of Doctor Who, Mr. John Nathan Turner. And we are here tonight to tell people why it is that Doctor Who is the great institution that it is, but most particularly on this special night, how it is that you came to be Doctor Number 7.
Yes.
How, in particular, did you come to be Doctor Number 7?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to...
Thank you.
You were going to tell them. How did I become Doctor Number 7? Well, I heard on the news that Doctor Number 6 was leaving, and I asked my agent to get in touch with the BBC. And just in case the lady who interviewed me this afternoon from NBC was here, that means there'd be a British Broadcasting Corporation. There was a lady interviewed me this afternoon from a television station here, and she never heard of the BBC. So I was floored. Anyway, I heard that they were looking for a new Doctor Who. My agent got in touch, and I then went to several interviews, and I did a screen test, and they still asked me to do it.
Now, John Nathan Turner, if we can swing over to you, what are you looking for as a producer in casting the next Doctor, and what was it about Sylvester's qualities as an actor that caused you to make that decision?
Well, I think all of the actors to date, including John, who's sitting on your left, I mean, each of them contributed a massive amount of their own personality to the part. I mean, we don't know an awful lot, really, about the central character of our show, and they have all fleshed out the role in their own inimitable way. So one's looking for a kind of personality figure combined with a superb actor, obviously, and I wanted to heighten the humor in the new season, so I was looking for a kind of zany eccentric, and I think I found him.
We were interested in particular in your, as a fan, interest in Doctor Who and your eagerness to play the part. You mentioned that you put your agent onto the case when you found out that the role was open. Yes, Sylvester.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me. I thought you were still talking to...
No.
Yes.
No.
Could you ask me that again, then?
Sure, we can edit this later.
Yes. Live?
Live television, right?
Yes.
Thanks. What was it about the role of Doctor Who that caused you to tell your agent, this is a part I want to play?
Well, I've been a great fan of Doctor Who for years, and like any great fan, I'd really like, I'm sure they'd like to play the part, and I wanted to. And also, when I became an actor, lots of times people would say to me, you'd make a really good Doctor Who. So, adding all that up, I decided that's why I'd like to be a Doctor Who.
Now, you bring very particular stage experience and television experience to the part. Can you tell people what it was that you've been doing in the past that you've enjoyed doing so much and you hopefully will continue in your role as the Doctor?
Well, yes, I mean, I've done all sorts, but like most British actors, I know in America the actors sometimes tend to specialize in various, medias, but in Britain we tend to work a lot in the theatre and on television and in films. I've done quite a lot of Shakespeare, especially the clown roles in the Shakespeare, like Tranio and Puck and Festive from 12th Night, various others like that. And I've done musicals, and I've been in an opera. I've done quite a lot of television as well, and a few films. And I think that's quite a good experience. As well as working in a box office of theatre, that's a really good experience for being an actor.
Now, there's a real cute story about how you were discovered when you were working in the box office in the theatre. Can you relate that?
Yes, I was working in the Roundhouse Theatre in London and collecting tickets, and there was an actor called Brian Murphy who was in George and Mildred, Man About the House. I don't know if you get that here. He was going through a sticky period in his career, and he was collecting the tickets I was selling. And one day, a director came in who was starting up a group, a fringe group, and he said he wanted a real, this mad fringe group we're going to start up, and he wanted someone really mad. And Brian said, well, that's the guy in the box office. He's completely out of his head. So he came up and asked me, he said, do you want to join the show? And I said, yes, but I'm not an actor. He said, well, do you want to become an actor? And I said, oh, well, all right, yeah, okay. And so I would often join it. It was quite an illustrious cast, because the founder member, one of the other founder members, was Bob Hoskins, who's now up for an Oscar, and we worked together, on that for about a year before he went off to do greater things. And so now I'm off here doing great things.
Great things indeed. The new Doctor, Doctor number 7, Sylvester McCoy. Let's have a hand for him. Indeed. To my left is a very well-known figure in the world of Doctor Who, and an institution. My good buddy. Doctors on either side. I think I'm terribly ill. Mr. John Pertwee. John, wait a minute, I have to adjust this thing in my ear as I swing around. Welcome. What do you make of all this?
Welcome. I've been talking to you all night. Talking about it.
Well, there's another post-production edit right there.
No, let's leave it in.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it in.
Yeah.
To fans of Doctor Who have not had the opportunity to hear from you in person, can you go back in time and relate how it was that you took on the role of Doctor way back those few years ago?
Keep going. You're doing splendidly. What would you like me to do? To tell you how I started?
Well, not me, them. I know.
Them? Oh, they all know that. How, you mean when I started?
When you started and how you got the role of Doctor?
I got the role because Sean Sutton, who was the head of programs, had me on his shortlist. I was number 2 on his shortlist and had been for 18 months, I got. This is true, because John Nathan Turner was then working making the tea.
Quite right.
Ask him, is that not true?
Quite
Get the camera on John Nathan Turner. He was making the tea. He was a young lad, enthusiastic lad, and he was starting at the bottom, and he eventually became the producer of Doctor Who. And when I was doing Doctor Who, he was on the floor as a junior floor boy. Manager. Sir.
No,
Sorry.
the coffee.
Yes, that's how it happened.
Now, thinking back to your role as the Doctor, your reign, your 5-year reign as the Doctor, what was your greatest joy in playing that particular part?
Oh, all the fun on location. In every capacity. I mean, take that smile off your face. the motorbikes and the stunts and the fun on the boats, and we had tremendous fun on location. Great. Very adventurous it was in those days.
Have you, what would your advice be for Sylvester, if it is proper for you to offer advice?
Isn't proper at all. I'm going to ask him for advice. I don't offer advice anything. He's got the job. Good luck to him. It's a marvelous job, and I know he'll have a great time playing it.
Great. Let's swing back over to John Nathan Turner for a moment before we come back to Sylvester. John, how do you envision, as the producer of the show and the producer's vision, the newer episodes of Doctor Who progressing in the great tradition of Doctor Who?
New ones from Sylvester onwards, you mean?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, as I mentioned, a more heightened strength of comedy. We're entering a new era, and to back that up, we're having a new logo, we're having new music, we're having, well, a new arrangement of the old music. So the whole thing will have a kind of fresh look. And I'm delighted that in the first story that we're doing, we've managed to secure the services of Kate O'Mara, who's been over here in Dynasty, playing Caress, Joan Collins' sister. And she's coming to play a villain that she's played before called the Rani, and that's in the very first story, which, along with Sylvester and Bonnie Langford, who's the marvellous new companion, I think we're in for a terrific new season.
Great. Now, as you approach the role of Sylvester, and you begin your shooting for your first season. What goes through your mind? You're picking
Panic.
up, yeah, panic I can relate to, yes. You're picking up quite a distinguished mantle in taking on the role of the Doctor. What do you hope to be able to accomplish with it over the period of time that you'll be playing the role?
Well, I hope to have fun, keep it as wonderful as it was when the other 6 Doctors were doing it, and enjoy it, really. If I enjoy it, then I know that the audience will enjoy it, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will. Down at the very far end of this grand assemblage is a gentleman in a suit. I can assure you...
Well, somebody from the BBC has to wear a suit.
This is a gentleman by the name of Brian Sloman, who is the tour organizer of the BBC Doctor Who traveling exhibit, which is going around the country. Brian, your love of Doctor Who goes back very many years, and you organized this tour as a way to help the PBS stations across the country in their membership drives, etc., etc. Can you tell us what was the genesis of this, and how you hope that will elicit membership response around the country?
Well, we see this as the perfect marriage, the happy marriage between the BBC in America, that's Lionheart Television, and the PBS stations through their fans. And by taking this tour to 77 cities around the United States, we feel we can pay back just a little bit of what we feel we owe the fans for their loyalty over the years, because they realize that the only way that Doctor Who can stay on the airways here is by their continuing to put their hands deep into their pocketbook year in, year out. And we're very, very sensitive to that as the BBC, as the people making the program, and as Lionheart Television, responsible for selling it. So for us, it's payback time.
Great. Now, as we can swing over to John. John, you've been asked, as you appear around the country, to do many things for PBS stations in terms of eliciting membership and helping people to understand the importance of membership. What are your thoughts in terms of Doctor Who and this very important program, and why people should really dig into their pockets, as Brian has said, to become members?
Well, purely to see it. I mean, they won't see it if it's their favorite program. They won't see it unless they do.
Being strafed. It is very important indeed, and I know that it is very different here in America with this television situation with the public television station than it is in Britain. And as John has suggested, it is as simple as that. If you do not help your public television station, then it is not possible for them to bring you the kind of programming you enjoy, like Doctor Who. As I can turn to Sylvester, he is experiencing his first wave of Doctor Who in this country as a part of this tremendous institution. Sylvester, what is your initial reaction to the fans of America, and what are your thoughts about public television as you pick up the role?
Well, I mean, the fans are great. I mean, they're wonderful, amazing people. And they gave me such a great and joyful welcome when I arrived. I thought someone else had come onto the stage when I arrived, but it was only me, and I was so pleased. And they all dress up, and they're in these wonderful costumes from the show. It's like, gives you a feeling of what it's going to be like working with all the monsters when I get there.
John Nathan Turner, you've experienced working with the monsters as well, and you've obviously been a very great supporter of Doctor Who here in America and of the PBS stations, one of the best friends that PBS stations have. Your thoughts on the importance of membership?
Well, I mean, in this country it's absolutely vital, and I think that the Doctor Who fans in particular, or science fiction fans in particular, are particularly excellent at digging deep in their pockets, and I don't see any reason why they should stop. I know they won't stop, because it is with their continued support that we are able to make the program back home. The money here goes to Lionheart, that money comes to the BBC, and we're able to make more episodes. We're able to keep going. So one thing is feeding another, really. So please don't stop, everybody.
Does the energy that you pick up from Doctor Who fans here, and by you, I mean the entire show staff, obviously people from around the world bombard your offices and the BBC's offices with letters and thoughts and suggestions. How does that energy assist your staff in keeping on with this very important show?
Well, I think it's a very privileged position in a way, because many television shows are made in a vacuum. and there's no kind of reaction. It's not like working in a theatre where you have an audience, or like tonight where we have a few supporters around us while we're chatting. We're making a program in a television studio and there's no feedback, so that fan mail to the office, whether it's asking for Dalek blueprints or whether it's offering a suggestion for a new companion or a new storyline or whatever, is very interesting to read. Now obviously we can't take all of those on board remotely, but every now and then there is a germ of an idea that we can use. So I think that letters, much as I often curse them by their sheer volume, I think we're in a privileged position to receive so many.
Great. Sylvester, before we swing back to the other end of our distinguished panel, your initial experiences with the American fans, what is the question that the fans themselves have most wanted to know? What's the question you've been hearing again and again?
Who are you? I'm me. But I'd like to say, the public broadcasting thing, which is new to me, I also think that we keep talking about the Doctor Who fans are sending in money. Surely also you should be asking all fans of public broadcasting for no matter what they are, to send in money, because it is very similar to the BBC in the fact that you don't get interrupted by advertising all the time, and you can see some very quality class stuff on it. So I think they should all send money in. And even if you hate Doctor Who, but who can hate Doctor Who?
Thank you very much. You had me worried there for a minute. John Pertwee to my left. It is very well known that you had a particular series of adventures with Daleks. And it is well known as well that Daleks were not necessarily your favorite being that you encountered. Let's talk about Daleks for a little minute.
I didn't like their feet and little black gym shoes showing beneath the rubber.
Again, we're talking feet here. This is a coincidence. Yes.
What would you like to know about the Dalek?
You have this marvelous way of turning it around to me.
I'd much prefer hearing you talk, really. The Daleks were very nasty. Nobody really, it's only an encasement. You see, a Dalek isn't really a thing. It's an encasement for a thing. It's a being that used its brain so much that it lost the use of its arms and legs. That's right, John, isn't it? It's right, good. And anyway, one day we took the top off and we showed the world what a Dalek looked like, and half the world threw up. It was made with, I think, with squeegee, which is as a washing up liquid, a lot of spaghetti, and a glass eyeball. I think it was something like that. Didn't look very pretty.
Thank you for that insight.
Well, I thought you'd like to know. So I know they weren't my favorites, but I mean they were the world's favorites. I mean there's no question about it. The Dalek was the most feared,
and still retains this amazing magnetism for fans.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Ryan Sloman, as you were growing up in the UK, what is your most lingering impression of Doctor Who growing up as a child? Obviously, you've passed those years.
Well, I was 10 years of age when the program came out, Eric, in a small English boys' boarding school, and it was singularly the most important program on television in our lives. And, of course, being in a disciplined society of an English boys' school, we weren't allowed to watch television all the time, and so TV was a treat, but Doctor Who was a particular treat. And you'd have all these young men running around the English playgrounds, imitating Daleks. Yeah. So it was fundamental to our growing up.
Great. Now let's once more swing back to the other side of the panel. We have a couple minutes left here. Everybody,
swinging. Having swung back.
I think I've damaged my tail.
No, they gave me the sparks. You all right?
Yeah, I'll survive.
You're getting all red.
It's painful. Show must go on.
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit in our few remaining moments about Sylvester McCoy, your hobbies, your backgrounds, the kinds of things that make you tick, so that people will better appreciate what the fine qualities that you're bringing to the role of the Doctor. As you said, who is Sylvester McCoy?
Well, that's a secret, really. That's why I play all these other parts. Maybe I'm searching for whoever Sylvester McCoy is. Well, I'm just a quiet, boring family man, really. When I close the door, when I go home, people always say to my wife, how do you manage to live with him? He's out of his head. And she said, well, you should see him at home. He's really boring.
You're a great fan of literature, and you read a great deal.
Yeah, I've read. That's why I got these glasses. I've done my eyes in reading. I've read a few books, yes. And I go to the theatre and cinema and walk on the heath, really. I play the odd game of chess.
You should probably define the heath.
Oh, the heath, sorry, yes. The heath
Here it's a candy bar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Imagine walking on candy bars. That man's got a very odd hobby. No, it's a beautiful part of London where I live. It's a big parkland, and it's kind of like the countryside, only in the middle of London, nearly.
Now, you are with your family living in the London area.
Yeah.
And how will the shooting schedule of Doctor Who affect your existence? Will your life be very much different from your when you're working on the stage, working in a regular television show?
Well, I don't know. No, I should think it's. I mean, I've done. No, you kind of sometimes you're away from home, and then other times you'll be working just down the road at the BBC Centre. So sometimes.
Okay.
In a theatre somewhere else.
Speaking of BBC Centre, let's thank our guests for their time and their great support of public television. To my far right, John Nathan Turner, the producer of Doctor Who. To my immediate right, Mr. Sylvester McCoy, the 7th Doctor, and welcome to this country. To my immediate left, ready, everybody?
You got the air quick.
Yep. John Pertwee, Doctor number 3, and Mr. Brian Sloman of the BBC and the wonderful BBC Traveling Tour exhibition. On behalf of everybody here, thank you for your support of public television, and please do remember, when your public television station calls, it's time for you to call. Thanks very much. The Colin Baker Twin Dilemma episodes, Doctor number 6, Doctor number 7, soon to begin his reign and his filming in England. Sylvester, what are your impressions of public television as you've done your initial stint here in the Atlanta area?
Well, I think it's great, and I think it's also, I think it's very important to have a television network like this that is not commercial, because in a way television has now become part and parcel of your kind of background, literary and artistic, and in many other ways, and it's very important that you should have it. And we have it a different type in Britain, where it's a kind of a form of a tax we pay to have it, but you've got to be asked for money regularly, and I do think you must support it. I'm sure you will, because you realize how good it is.
Well,
and what else?
We want everyone in the state to support Doctor Who, or you will be exterminated.
How much more incentive can we give you than that from this machine that one of the doctors described as plywood, half tennis balls, and a sink pump?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.